Living by the water is great, but these jellyfish showed up one day and are making it impossible to swim. I was so steamed, I was about to steam some up. I had eaten them years ago about the same time I ate dog soup. It actually tastes pretty good with some spicy mustard dipping sauce. But passing these jellyfish during my morning commute got me wondering, what is their life even like? I wanted to get to know them more, live with them, speak with them. I want them on my walls. So I decided to paint some fantasy jellyfish in VR, which turned out to be my most challenging painting yet. And I learned some things that made painting even more exciting. If you didn't know, VR lets unskilled, untrained people like me dive headfirst into self-taught skills in a way that is both fun and a relaxing bit of trial and error. I'm using the
Metaquest 3
and the Vermillion painting app to take a dip under the sea. The jellyfish will be floating up toward the surface where the source of light will be. To create that illusion of light coming from above, we paint the bottom of the canvas a little bit darker. I'm using shades of blue and green. The surface of the ocean is going to be a little bit choppy, and the sun is hitting those little crests and troughs above, so let's mix some blue and white to create grayish tones for that. Painting the chop up top feels a lot like painting clouds in the sky. You know, come to think of it, they are the clouds in the jellyfish world. Anything above that would be like outer space to them. The jellyfish are mostly clear, but are best defined by their dark and light outlines. The light passes through them, but does bounce around on the inside. I painted the jellyfish on a separate layer in case I messed up, which I did. Let's use some greenish blue mixed with some solvent to create the general clear shape of a jellyfish in the background. I'm gonna use a lot of solvent on this one. We can mix some dark and purple to help it stand out from the water. Let's dip the round pointed brush in each color and apply varying pressure while painting a twisting string. The tentacles are painted with a thicker stroke of light green or blue paint mixed with solvent, and then a darker paint with solvent using a thinner stroke or brush through the middle. This creates the illusion of it being semi-transparent. We can use the blender brush to blur the background jellyfish just a little bit, although I got a little carried away. Just tap it a bunch. I wanted to break up the painting and add more depth to it by painting some arms and tentacles of a jellyfish that had just floated past the viewer. So I used the same technique that I did for the background jellyfish. Looks pretty cool. The main jellyfish in focus was the most challenging because I knew I needed to add the most detail on something I kind of was just making up as I went. Even with references, I always seem to get lost in my imagination. I followed my same formula again and made a lighter oval and then some darker purple colors for the inside. I think the jellyfish are supposed to have these flaps around them. I just used light blue-green mixes with solvent. Then I painted the arms like I did the others, but made them stand out a little bit more with nice strong color. I used the blender brush to blur some of the features on the main jellyfish to give it more movement and depth. I made a very thinned outline of paint for the outside of the jellyfish head and the rounded areas where I thought the light would focus. Kind of like looking through a big crystal ball. This helped give the jellyfish a more transparent, realistic feel to it. The last thing to do was add some light rays on the final layer on top. After that, I painted the tentacles like I did on the others, but I had to really steady my strokes with my support hand and smoothing turned on. It took me a few tries and spamming the undo button, but I finally got it to a point where each tentacle had a light blue outline and a dark blue purple center. Amateur tip, the further away it is, the better it looks. There. Wait, oh no. I just realized I had gotten so carried away and lost in the painting that I didn't attach the tentacles to the flaps like they're supposed to, and I already posted it on Instagram. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. You mostly lose. Now to frame it and hang it up. This is going to be as big as possible. It looks great in this room right across from my beach painting from the last video. Not too bad for having no idea what I'm doing. That's the power of VR. Although I noticed many mistakes, like the tentacles not being attached to the outer flaps. Oh well, I like it and I took notes for next time. I hope this was interesting and you learned something. Whew! All this painting made me really hungry. How about some steamed jellyfish?